Hey, this is Sasha Jensen, and I want to invite you to the Don't Go Out There podcast. Come join me and keep screaming.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, on to the film review. This week we'll be taking on Brother Brian's fan-voted pick. Brother Brian, you announce your pick and why you nominated it?
Yeah, it's 1996? 1996's Fear. And so I hope nobody I know listens to this regularly, first of all, because what I'm about to say is going to be very obvious for anyone that went to high school with me, who I'm referring to. And if my kids are listening to this better be in the future, and I better be dead. So if not, stop listening. You're grounded. What's wrong with you? But I kind of had an interesting relationship with this movie as I lost my virginity to this movie. So let's just say it took me a few times of putting this movie on before I was able to actually watch it. This seemed to be the movie of choice. But anyway, and that was the last time I saw this movie. So, and I've said it before, I'm a sucker for Mark Wahlberg movies and pretty much I pretty much like everything he's in.
You didn't go the Mark Wahlberg route, the David route, did you? When you lost your...
Let's stick to this. Let's stick to the script here.
Okay.
So wait a minute.
All right, so I'm a sucker. Listen, I'm a sucker for Mark Wahlberg movies and pretty much like everything he's in, including The Happening. I think he's a great actor. Now, he's a little green in this, but I still think he plays his role fantastically. I think it's another underrated performance and an underrated 90s movie because of that performance. I do think that it resonated more with the zeitgeist of 90s teenage culture. So that's a $5 phrase for you right there. Because for me, watching as an adult with a daughter versus watching as a teenager hits me a lot different than it used to. So without that nostalgia of the 90s, I don't know how well this one honestly holds up. But I'm happy that it was picked by the fans, although I'm kind of shocked The Fly didn't win that poll. Hell, it came in last. I mean, that's crazy. You guys don't want to listen to anything good. Anyway, yeah, even if I'm Jon Snow in it, I'll be giving this one a decent score for nothing if not for how interesting of a reassessment, or for lack of a better word, phenomenon it is that I can watch this 28 years apart and see the completely different than I did back then. Especially now. I mean, come on. This dude would be a registered sex offender if this was nowadays. I mean, that's insanity. I don't know how we have female listeners anymore, but the ones that are left, they are horny.
Yeah, no, I'm toxic.
Honestly,
I'm their only ally on this show.
I was going to say, they respect Dustin's honesty. That's what they do. They respect his honest opinion. That's it. It's got to be.
I'm the voice of the voiceless on this podcast.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this is the first time I've seen this movie, to no one's surprise. And Brian, you're not alone. I did not hate this movie at all. I actually quite enjoyed it for the most part. I didn't think it was perfect by any means. There are definitely some qualms I have. But yeah, I thought it was a fine movie, fine thriller. I thought it was decently acted. Like, I don't think there was any problems with Mark Wahlberg. I did notice in like the goof section of IMDb, once I saw a few of them, it's like, damn, I can't not notice them now. But it wasn't anything too terrible. It's nothing as bad as like when you pointed out the damn Jeepers Creepers zipper. I can't forget that now. Like, it annoys the shit out of me. Yeah, I think the movie's fine. I don't think the kills are the best part of it, but I think it's a fine 90s slasher. And I just want to give a warning to all the girl dads. I'm doing scene by scene. I kind of say some things that might hurt girl dad feelings, but yeah, it had to be done.
Wow. Well, it kind of reminds me a lot of Hush. And don't you love Hush?
I thought Hush was fine. I like this. I'd probably say I like this better than Hush, honestly.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Hush just gets monotonous to me in the middle. It's just like, bro, she's deaf. You can't get this. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. I'm the big Hush guy, if I'm not mistaken. But again, same thing. Man, couldn't get it. It was deaf. Anyway, Brian, I'd never heard of this movie. Never heard of it. And I like to think of myself, even though I was like a kid in the 90s, I'm a pretty 90s connoisseur. And I was like, damn, I never heard of this motherfucker. So I'm looking at the cast. I was like, well, shit. Hell yeah, this looks like a great 90s cast. Young Marky Mark, young Reese Witherspoon, or without her spoon, depending on your preference. Alyssa Milano. Yeah, I had to get it in there once. Sorry. I'm with the two of you. I quite enjoyed the movie. It was very 90s, though. Like, it had everything you could think of. Had Bush. Great band name, by the way, for no particular reason at all. I do love me some Bush. Great band. Don't look at me like that, brother. Anyway. I actually think Mark is really, really good as David, creepy throughout the film, and I love the progressive amount of creepy that he gets as the movie goes on. I'm like, God damn, this dude's got that look in his eye where I'm like, I think this is one of the better younger Marky Mark movies that I've seen, of him be like a younger actor. And honestly thought everyone else played their part pretty well. I mean, it's not perfect. And up until about 45 minutes in, I'm like, is anything going to happen, or are we watching a rom-com? Like, what is this movie? And then the scene in the bedroom happens. Like, okay, he's a fucking creep. Got it. Yep, totally understand where this is headed now. So I thought it was a good, just 90s thriller-ish type movie. I thought the ending was a little flat, which I'll get to. But outside of that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough episode because the voters are really trying to get me thrown in prison, or at least thrown at the mercy of public opinion's court. I do a lot of joking about women and blaming women, but what you're not going to do is get me to victim blame a victim of sexual assault. Not doing that. So just want to let y'all know, don't expect that from me. But no, I'd seen this movie years and years ago. Funny thing about it is I watched this, Primal Fear, and Cape Fear for the first time, all pretty close together. And for the longest time, I had trouble, like, I had to stop and think about which one was which. And so we need to get Cape Fear done. Shout out to De Niro. But anyway, that way.
What was that like? Was that like a challenge to watch every movie named with the fear in the title?
Yeah, then I watched Fear Street.
Nice.
No, those came out several years after I saw the movies. But anyway, this was practically like a first-time viewing. It had been so long since I'd watched it. But I think it's solid. I, too, like Mark Wahlberg, current-day Mark Wahlberg and actor Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's past is shaky at best. But I think there's good tension in this one. It's definitely one that'll get your heart rate up. I've got some issues with the movie with some character decisions and choices and story and things like that. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. It's not bad at all.
To be fair, my past is shaky at best as well.
Have you ever hurled a brick at someone while calling them the N-word? Actually, don't answer that.
It doesn't. I was gonna say, young Marky Mark walk around beating up people for no reason. He's probably enjoying the hell out of this role, man. Fucking smashing people.
He's beating up an old Vietnamese man for no reason. I reference all that in my notes. So,
I remember when he called an audible and won the game against the New York Giants on special teams. That was pretty awesome. Of younger Marky Mark. That's Vince Papale. My bad.
Well, it's funny. I guess that this one because Nico, and you guys know I've already got the entire mapped out for me to watch one movie at least every day of the year. And I came up with a little challenge for each month. February's challenge was 28 days, 28 different directors. And so for the Scorsese movie, I picked his best movie, a movie that I moved into my top 4 on Letterboxd recently because, yes, it is that good. I watched The Departed just a few days ago. And him at the end of that movie got a standing ovation for me the first time I saw it, and he still does.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
a boss
that.
move.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was a great twist.
It was good.
Whoa, you watched it?
Yeah, I did. I watched it the other night.
Nice.
Talked him into it.
What'd you kick out of your top 4 before we get started?
The Graduate, Mike Nichols, 1967, Dustin Hoffman. It's a great movie, and I love it, but The Departed is just one of those that I swear it's like an instant mood changer. I'm locked in every time it's on.
God, Matt Damon was scummy.
Yeah. Dude, Jack, though.
It's funny.
Jack was...
At least he was funny being a piece of shit.
He was a charming dirtbag. I love it.
Yeah.
She fell funny. See, that's a really sinister thing to say because that implies people fall a certain way. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, guys. Y'all got any more?
If you keep the cameras rolling.
If you keep the camera rolling.
Y'all got any more? I told Dustin, Jack Nicholson looked older in The Shining than he did in The Departed. How does that happen?
Well, okay, I'll say it. If you had to be in love with Shelley Duvall, it'll age a man.
Oh, here we go. We're starting it off strong.
Oh, Lord.
You did that, not me.
I knew you were about to say that shit. As soon as I was
All right, let's
God
get rid
rest
of
her
scene by
soul.
scene.
insult
God
the
rest her
dead,
soul.
by the way. I'm going to say, Shelley Duvall is no longer with us. Come on.
Well, what's she going to do about it?
Oh, Lord. All right, let's get into the scene by scene. The film starts with the title card and opening credits as we pan over the city. Nicole is showering and is told by new stepmom Laura to save some hot water for Pops. Stephen is running through the woods and makes it back to his Mike Settle house as Laura asks if he got the James Taylor tickets yet. He asks Nicole about her clothes, saying they look like something she'd wear when she was 12. She asks if she can go to school now after saying he suffocates her. Toby sits with him and asks if he can drop him off at school and calls him Dad, and Stephen is thrilled by this. He makes it to work and finds out the big project went to the enemy company, and he's only got one shot left. Nicole, Margot, and Gary make it to hell. I don't know what this is. Some kind of groovy hangout / restaurant. Both girls are smitten by 2 guys they see. Margot gets a party invite and Nicole says she can't go. They leave but check out their crush one more time. Both girls are tanning as Margot says she considered posing nude. Margot's mom leaves and tells Nicole her ride is here. She asks her pops if she has to go see James Taylor again. She saw him in the summer of '85. She brags on her impeccable memory and shames him for not remembering anything. He convinces her it'll be fun, and she agrees. Stephen gets a call from work he has to go to Vancouver, and Laura is ticked. Nicole storms away, and he punches a cabinet. Nicole calls Margot and says she'll be at the party. The two arrive, and the vibes are immaculate. Margot goes to dance with Logan, and Nicole hangs back until David appears out of nowhere. The two start talking, and they go to dance until a fight pops off. Panic ensues, and they make a run to the roof. David finds a ladder for them to get down the building, and they make it to his convertible. David parks him by the water, and they all sit on it, and they sit on a table to chit-chat about life, and he breaks her watch so she has an excuse for her missed curfew. They kiss, and David gets handsy, but she stops him. He says he respects that and admires her. All right, Brian, that's the opening set of scenes. What do you think?
All right, so just looking at the credits here, it's worth noting that James Foley directed this one. And besides this, I mean, he really only did 50 Shades of Grey's movies after this. And he passed away in 2025, so RIP to him. But also worth noting that Christopher Crowe got writing credit for this movie. But from what I found, Peter Iliff, the same Peter Iliff from Point Break and Varsity Blues, had a lot of script doctoring duties here. And I'm a huge fan of his, so obviously. And I'll tell you what, too. When it comes to Reese Witherspoon and everybody thinks about her, they think of, obviously, for the most part, Sweet Home Alabama, little old sweet Reese Witherspoon. But us 90s kids remember how she was in some pretty edgy movies for the time, with this and Cruel Intentions here in the 90s. So I've always thought, that girl isn't so innocent after seeing those movies. Now, my biggest, I guess, transformation, for lack of a better word, with this movie is that when I first watched this, I was, like I mentioned, a freshman in high school. So I'm relating to, obviously, David, Nicole, kids my age. But as a 42-year-old watching this, I relate way more to Mr. Walker now, minus the pedo eyes next set of scenes, which is very interesting. This may be the first movie that I've ever actually done that on. So at least I can remember, like, shifted the way that I'm viewing a movie. So it's kind of crazy. Shout out to William Peterson, Mr. CSI himself, too. My biggest takeaway from this set of scenes, though, my dude bought 3 drinks at a bar for $8.75. Like, it's 2026. Like, one of those drinks is more than that now. Also, that Laura is a fucking bitch. Like, how are you going to get mad at Steve? The man is putting all that food you're cutting up on the table, and y'all are going to give him shit because work is making him go and work in Vancouver? Man, fuck you. And like I said in my open, David is 23 and Nicole is 16. That's jail time, motherfucker.
Well, we've all been there.
Whoa.
Have we?
Oh,
Question? What? Wait, what?
Hey, man. Hey, Dustin, I forgive you. You thought you were on mute. No worries, buddy.
I thought I was muted.
Happens to the best of us. I understand. Trust me, I do. So very good opening scene here. By the way, you left the movie out, and I know it's not like in the same vein, but Election from '99 with Chris Klein and Kevin Spacey. Great movie as well. Oh, it's not Kevin Spacey, is it? It's somebody else. Matthew Broderick. Sorry. My bad. All right. Anyway.
Is she in that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I never even
Good
saw
movie.
it. I've never even seen it.
Oh, good movie, man. Really good movie. It has Oz Stryker in it, buddy. Oz Stryker, Chris Klein. But anyway, my man Steve is out here running like Ben Stiller in heavyweights. All he had to do was pick up a log and he'd have been really set. And I know it's a security TV, but think of how far we've come TV-wise when I see that kitchen TV on the counter there. I know it's like a house camera, but and even now I can pull up the camera outside my house on my phone. It's just crazy how far we've come in 30 years. I almost said 20. It's been 30 years, Brian, just to let you know. Anyway, sorry, buddy. I got one more old joke and then I'm done. I promise. But this cast
But
is
it's
so
been
young.
28. It's only been 28 since I've seen it.
True. It's funny that the cast is, this is such a famous cast, but they're so young, and they had already kind of been in some other bigger stuff. So it was just weird to see them here. I'd never seen the movie or even heard of it. So I thought that was interesting. And by the way, is this before or after Mark Wahlberg beat somebody up for no reason because they weren't white? Is that before this movie?
This is after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
after.
just checking. See, I told you I had it in my notes too. So, I mean, just throwing that out there. Look out for that brick. Anyway, would also hate. I wouldn't hate laying around with Alyssa Milano and Reese Witherspoon, but anywho, the way that Steve holds this massive phone from 1996, and look, I grew up in a house phone era too, but like it's a little smaller than this. This thing is a monster. Brian, I know you know, buddy. You were doing the rotary with the going back and forth. Yeah, you were. But that wasn't even in my notes. Come on, man. Don't look at me like that.
All right,
will
Dustin,
say-
your turn.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. I don't miss being a teen at all. This awkward interaction between David and this interaction in the club or rave or bar or wherever the fuck they are, it's just super awkward to me. Like, I just don't miss this talking stage. I'm glad I'm over it. Sorry for everyone that's still in it. But last thing, Margot, terrible friend, just leaves. No help, no nothing. I don't know. Just Alyssa Milano feels wasted in the movie, and she has a little bit of a redemption arc that I like. But I just felt like it could have been a better character. And last thing, this guy, the way that David likes his car reminds me of that have you guys ever seen that guy that was basically making love to his car for My Strange Addiction?
Yep.
That's
It was
a
a red
fucking.
car. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a red car too. I was like, man. And there's also the scene from Sean William Scott and Dukes of Hazzard. No, you mean you want to fuck in it? No, I want to fuck it. That
Yeah.
great scene.
Good movie.
Anyway, yep, good movie. Go ahead, Dustin.
So, well, first of all, you said you hate the talking stage and you're glad you're past it. First of all, don't apologize to me, because the talking stage is the best stage, because then when it wears off, I get to change to a new one because women get on my damn nerves. Anyway, there's some very nice nature shots as we open, so it's easy to see why Brian loves this movie. I get it. I knew immediately. Inside the house, sheesh, what crawled up Nicole's ass? Like, she was itching to argue with her dad. That was crazy. When Nicole was making googly eyes at Marky Mark, my first thought was how much trouble she would have been saved if Wikipedia had been around in 1996. One look at Wahlberg's legal issues section on his wiki would have told her a lot. Probably could have saved the movie. Then again, if my choices were a James Taylor concert or Mark Wahlberg's Red Flags, then consider me a bull. I'm running right towards that red. The guy Margot was checking out.
Fuck.
I stand by what I said. The guy that Margot was checking out. Anyone else catch? Brian, you're probably the only one that would catch this. Dude was dancing like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Like it was almost those exact moves. What was that? But I'll give him credit. He throws a mean headbutt though. Very bizarre that the police brought the chopper out over a party at a fight at a party, and how quick the response time was. I hated that. Like, come on, let's be real here. When Nicole and David are talking after the big escape, let me be clear. Here, he's just like me for real. That smooth talking son of a gun. This is proof that I live in the wrong era. Because if girls wore watches these days, I would 100% adjust the time like he did. Like, we got more time. Nowadays, it's all Apple Watches and cell phones for the time, though, so I can't pull that move. It's an okay open. Not a lot to go off of, really, just kind of world building.
Laura scolds Nicole for being late for curfew and then says she looks like a slut with all that makeup on her face. Steven makes it back home and asks Nicole about being late and the new guy. She doesn't know if he's a good guy, but he's good to his car. She gets kitchen duty and lawn work for 2 weeks as punishment. Nicole refuses to apologize to Laura, and now Laura calls Steven out for being too easy on her. He asks why she called Nicole a slut, and he says it was a shitty choice of words. Back at school, Nicole gets in David's car, and all the girls are peanut butter and jelly. The two are playing pool, making out in public, and on the walk home, David says he wants to meet her family. David meets Dad, Toby, and the dog, making a good first impression. Laura appears saying Nicole has to help with the trees, and David offers to help, and Toby asks to help too. Steven is jealous of the looks Laura makes around David and overhears her say it's sexy when a man has dirty hands. David washes his hands as Margot enters the room. She bends over to adjust her boot as Steven catches a few looks as David tells Nicole to get him a coat. He tells him Nicole's curfew and gets a call, and David turns the clock back, and Laura is ticked Nicole didn't take the trash bags out. She drops the bags after he asks, why don't you get your helpmate to do it? We're at the fair now, and they're still making out and groping each other in public. The two get on a roller coaster, and Marky Mark is knuckles deep in Steven's baby girl. She and the coaster climax simultaneously. Steven realizes the clock is wrong and panics. Logan points at Nicole creepily as Steven tells Laura he wants her to go to Vancouver with him. They can make it a romantic getaway. Steven says no one is allowed in the house, but she immediately calls David to invite him over. He's busy, but she gives him the coach at the house to come over later on. David enters the house, and he's got a sinister look on his face. He's in Nicole's room and looks through her jewelry, taking the daddy's girl bracelet. He's shirtless and wakes Nicole up. He immediately removes her bra and panties and says, I love you, and splits Steven's baby girl shit in his own house. You hate to see it. Brian, that's the next set of scenes. What do you think?
The start of this is another example of what I was talking about earlier. The scene between Steve and his daughter, then the scene with Steve and his wife. Throwaway scenes like this when I was little, when I was younger. But now, some of the most impactful, relatable scenes for me. You know, a little bit different scenario, but you know how many times I've navigated that same exact conversation between stepmom and kid. Been there, Steve. I get it, brother. Also, Gary's Alfred Hitchcock shirt. Yes, please. I would like that now. And again, I say, how is Steve's first question to David when they meet not, motherfucker, how old are you? But then again, you know, he has pedoized himself for Margot, apparently. So what do I know? Toss my hands up here. I kind of wish they would have played that up a little bit more. Like, I kind of wish we would have we did see David clock that shit. Like, we saw him check out. We saw him see him check out Alyssa Milano. So I kind of wish that, you know, would have used it against him a little more later on. But anyway, Now, obviously, the most memorable scene in the movie, the roller coaster scene, which was pretty damn edgy back in the day, trust me. This is also a memorable scene for Reese, apparently, but not fondly, as according to a July 23 interview, she said this infamous scene was, quote, changed on the spot to be more explicit than it was in the script, and that she was denied a body double. She said it was a very degrading experience, which is, I mean, that's crazy to me because the way that Foley shot this and the cuts could have easily used a body double. But, I mean, it went from her face to like just her legs and the hand. Like, you could have easily used, hell, anybody's legs and hand, but whatever. Anyway, also, no way his hands bends like that back to accomplish what is implied here. No way he's going to Fingertown like that. Anyway, during this sexy time scene to end this up, I just got to keep telling myself that Reese was 19 and Marky Mark was 23 when they filmed this. But it's really hard to get by the whole 23-16 thing. That wouldn't fly nowadays at all. Little fun fact, though, and I'll shut up, only because he says it here during coitus. It's worth pointing out that any time in this movie that David or Nicole say, I love you to the other never says it back.
Interesting. Nice fun fact there. First of all,
well, let me say, I don't have it in my notes, and I just want to say it before the thought leaves. Yeah, they shouldn't say it when each other says it, because when he says it, he's saying it how I would see it, and that's to manipulate her. When she says it, she means it. Do not say it back then. No.
I think he meant it. There's a scene later that makes me think he really meant that shit. Man, it's crazy.
It's all about power.
That's probably fair. First of all, look, I was a rule breaker. I was a degenerate, okay? I did whatever rule my parents set in place. I thought it was arbitrary, and I tried to break it. 2 hours past curfew is a little pushing it, though. I mean, I understand Dad's frustration here. I'm just saying, 2 a.m. is a toughie, buddy. That's all I'm saying. I would just don't know if I'll be willing to take that risk. One thing you're not going to do if you're my new wife is call my daughter a slut or imply that she looks like one. That's not going to get it done. I'm not going to have that. And by the way, okay, I'll come to that later. But we get a great scene here because it's Bush, the band, not George W. or the other kind. Wouldn't be the first time Marky Mark is involved in the movie with Bush. Speaking of the other guys, where the cops fist bump each other and aim for the bushes. Just saying. See? So there's another reference.
I thought you were talking about Boogie Nights.
Well, that too,
Yeah,
buddy.
same.
That too. That's a good. Actually, that's probably better. But anyway, man, our female listener chose this movie probably for Marky Mark, and he's impressing the parents right away. So, like, I know this guy's already a piece of shit by how he's impressed the parents in this way. And I thought, and Brian, you referenced it, I thought David was about to go American Beauty in this fucking scene. I was like, oh, hell. We're about to get Steve and Margot and this weird thing. Didn't like that. Didn't like the direction that was going. Glad we didn't do that. Roller coaster scene, wild. Just a wild scene. That's all I really have. The fact that Wild Wild Horses was playing, or Wild Horses, it's a weird cover. Shout out to the Rolling Stones who did the original. Just kind of a good for you ladies. I'm happy for you. And I will tell you, up to this point, this is the point in the movie I mentioned in my open. I'm like, all right, this movie's good, but like, where's the part I'm supposed to be scared of, the thriller, the horror? Why are we covering it on the show? And then we get this bedroom scene where it's pretty clear. Like, I mean, this is a forceful event that happens here. Manipulative, uses I love you. Not a great thing. Weird scene. Didn't like it at all. But now I know. I'm like, okay, we're on to the creepy stuff.
I know one thing. If I was Nicole and my stepmom called me a slut or implied I was a slut, whatever, I would be testing her hands right then and there. That she got off easy. Some very intense kissing in this movie. First David and Nicole, then Margot and her fella. Like, this is not typical movie kissing to me. It's the kind of kissing that makes you uncomfortable if you saw it in public. So I don't know. It was just weird seeing how close up we got. Anyway, David meets the folks and turns on the charm, another playwright of my playbook. So far, he's okay in my book. Seeing Margot and Steve talk, you guys mentioned it, but yeah, definitely some major American Beauty vibes, which Speaking of, I think it's an overrated movie. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. Little finger bang on the roller coaster, and I'm not talking about Eric Cartman's boy band. Young Love. Now, it's also crazy. I mentioned my February movie challenge, 28 Days, 28 Directors. I watched probably my favorite Spike Lee movie, He Got Game, recently. Very similar vibes, except for the different situation. Something about roller coasters apparently makes girls all kinds of horny. Steve realizing his clock was wrong. I wish we got to see the aftermath of when Nicole got home. Like, did Steve know that I don't know. I wish he just looked at it and we kind of moved on from it too quickly, I think. I wish he'd have started putting the pieces together then. And then Steve had to know that Nicole was going to have her new boy toy over when he left. Like, there's no way that he was that naive. And then when he does, when David does get there, we get a very clear view of Mark Wahlberg's third nipple. So there's that. And he's a wild boy too. You're already in there. There is absolutely no need and certainly no reason to say the L word. What are you thinking? But there's some much better story progression in this set of scenes.
Wait, Wahlberg has 3 nips?
You didn't know that?
No idea.
Oh, yeah, and you see it clearly in this one. I think it's on it's like below his left nipple.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
If you can...
Professional podcasting service.
Back at school, Nicole and Gary are walking and talking, and she gives him a hug. David pulls up and immediately tweaks, beating the shit out of him and hitting Nicole at the same time. She cries hysterically and tells him to go away and get away from her. Post-shower, we see she has quite the black eye. Laura asks to come in and sees it. Nicole says it's from gym class, and Laura covers it with makeup in a non-slutty way. Father and daughter have an awkward exchange until Laura explains what happens. David watches Nicole and Gary from a distance. Both are spooked at what happened. Nicole finds an I'm sorry note from David asking to meet, but she doesn't show. 3 dudes show up to David in Logan's place about a dog, and Nobby goes to get David, who's staring at the ceiling in the dark. Same old empty feeling in his heart. Shout out to great song. He says he isn't going, and Nobby snaps on him for missing, but backs away. Nicole gets a delivery of flowers, but immediately takes him to the garbage outside. Parents overhear Nicole crying, and Laura goes to check on her. She tells the truth about Gary as Stephen enters, asking if he gave her the black eye. She cries, and Laura holds her. Stephen goes to leave until he finds a condom wrapper under her bed. He tells her not to screw up her life because of his mistakes. As long as you live here, you follow my rules. Stephen tells her David isn't a good guy, as Nicole says she will handle whatever it is between she and David. He leaves the room and she cries again. Laura goes to Stephen and he shows her the condom wrapper. Nicole finds a note in the trash and it's their pictures. Nicole and Margot are talking about what happened as Logan, David, and the Misfits show up. Nicole tries to drive away, but David stops her. He apologizes to her for what he did and gets sappy, promising that will never happen again. Stephen makes it home and sees David outside with his family swimming, even grabbing his own wife by the waist to toss her into the pool. Stephen isn't happy he's there as the 2 guys lock eyes. Stephen calls Laura and reveals David's past, foster home to foster home until he got kicked out. Laura defends him, but he hangs up on her. He gives me the creeps, and the girl is my daughter. All right, Brian, so the next set of scenes, what'd you think?
Shit's getting crazy now in this set of scenes. I mean, I do like the script starting to kind of give David these psychotic tendencies, but maybe I would have not gone straight to beating the shit out of Gary and pushing her down in the process. I think maybe that should have come a little bit more into the movie. I don't know. In reality, I think she would have dipped immediately, even though he did just give her that old Jizz and Go by L'Oreal the night before. But I just think that they did such a good job the rest of the way, showing his almost Michael Myers-esque stalking come into play and almost gradually giving you those possessive, like those psychotic traits. But I don't know, this one just kind of like comes out of the blue. Also, I read in the original script that Gary was the gay friend of Nicole. And I think you should have left that in because it would have made it even more crazy. I think that David see him as a threat to their relationship. And I air quoted relationship there, but also it's ridiculous to give her a black eye after that. And come on, if that was your intention, show what happened, because nothing they showed would have given her a black eye unless I missed it every time that I've seen this movie, which is possible. But also, Steve, dad to dad, decent talk with Nicole, except at the end, you got to throw the condom wrapper at her because that's the only thing missing in this discussion. Because Jesus Christ, wow, my daughter is 6. I'm not ready for this 10-year time jump. God help me, because I've got a 15-year-old son, and that is way easier. I can just punch him. But anyway, pray for me, listeners. Pray for me.
Yeah, I know me and Dustin have already beat this dead horse, but speaking of beating people up who didn't deserve it, it's Marky Mark doing it all over again, buddy. Kicking Gary for no fucking reason. Never heard that one before. Marky Mark just throwing around random beatings back in the 90s. Tough times. You know, lying about how you got this black eyes, first sign of an abuse. Just like this movie it took a hard turn into something else very quickly within like a 5-minute span. This dad is awful with words. Sorry, Steve, but like, you're just not good at this kind of stuff. I would have let the wife handle it, even though, and I know Dustin will appreciate this, Laura is very inconsistent with her criticisms. Earlier in the movie, he's not tough enough on her. Now he's too tough. Well, where's the consistency from Laura is all I'm saying. If you're going to criticize me for...
You're asking for consistency from a woman?
I set that bait out, reeled that motherfucker in right there. That's good stuff.
Walked right into that one.
I did. You know, again, just don't like things. And this man was threatened by Gary. Have we seen Gary? Marky Mark, old ass man, riding by, hanging out in the high school, threatened by Gary. Come on, dude. I don't know. This guy's a psycho. Thought he could wear that nice little choir boy shirt and fix everything. I like the turn that the character of David is taking, though. It just little touches of losing his mind, showing a crazier side of him as the movie goes on. I like that. And the look that he gives Steve when they make eye contact, I'm like, oh, shit, we're in for some crazy stuff now.
So I don't have it in my notes, but I discovered it after the fact. So this is going to be out of order, and I'll get back to my scripted notes. But when David is laying on his bed and the guy at the house walks in and is like trying to get him to go do whatever, he just stares at him. I did not realize that was Glenn from The Ringer.
What? No, me either.
My
no
aunt got
idea.
it for me. Not my Aunt Ruth, my Aunt Helen. Yeah, that guy.
Wow.
I worked at Burger King. That blew my mind. Anyway,
Wow.
I love The Ringer. That's one of those, like,
That's
early.
range.
Yeah. Get you someone who can do both. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. Speaking of beating the dead horse, first thing I have is Mark treated Gary like he was a Vietnamese guy when he got to the school. My word, check out his Wikipedia page for that reference. It really shows how times have changed since the mid-90s. Like, David following Nicole in the school without anyone batting an eye is wild. That's just crazy. I like the scene where Nicole put the flowers in the trash and then started to say something to Laura but didn't. That was very believable and real step-parent stuff to me. That dynamic was great in that scene. Steve finding the Trojan wrapper was good stuff, but I hated how he found it. Hand me the tissues, and he drops the box, and no. I would have much rather him be standing there kind of awkwardly as he's trying to figure out what's going on without prying too much, and his eyes drift to the carpet, and he sees it poking out from underneath the blanket. That seems much more natural to me than he just all of a sudden is clumsy and drops a box of tissues. I don't know why that bothered me so much. Now, what I'm going to say next, I want to be clear. I am not victim blaming. But her getting the envelope out of the trash and then smiling when she sees the picture. Women, man, like, who TF cares about a fun time that you had? He is a psycho. There is no timeline where it doesn't only get worse. This is just unreal decision making on display with negative awareness and even less foresight. Knowing why he knows and what he suspects. If I'm Steven, or I guess knowing what he knows and what he suspects. If I'm Steven and I get home and see David, I'm pissed immediately. But then I see him grab my wife and throw her in the pool. I'm shooting him on sight without saying a word. Big hell no for me, dog. Like, no, there's no talking. He's getting a bullet through his face. But I'm fully invested in the movie now.
I don't think that's victim blaming. I mean, that's just common sense shit. No, not at all.
Yeah, okay. I just want to be very clear, because what he ends up doing is not her fault at all. But she should have removed herself from his life completely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She took him back like twice at least.
Yeah, Tiger don't change his stripes.
Steven stops at the school and sees David park. He pulls up beside him and asks to talk. He tells David you're done seeing Nicole, and David calls Steven out on his inadequacies. Abandoning Nicole, work, and his wife isn't satisfied. Jesus. Steven is shook, but threatens to rip his balls off and stick him straight up his candy ass. David goes Matthew McConaughey from The Wolf of Wall Street, pounding his chest as Steven drives away. Steven talks to his attorney and offers to make some calls, but doesn't seem convinced anything's going to change. Nicole and Dad argue, accusing her of hitting him in the chest and bruising him up. She says she's lost his respect and storms away. To David's car. Steven crashes out when he doesn't have his car keys. Steven makes a call to the cops, but they don't help either, worsening his crash out. David and Nicole are making out, and he demands Steven's little girl tell him she wants him. She says, I love you, and they kiss again. He drops her off at home, but instead of going inside, she drives to David's place. She catches Margot and Logan doing drugs and grinding each other until David arrives, assaulting her and making her say she wants him. He picks her up and totes her away, and Nicole is devastated. She runs back to her car and does some very impressive reverse driving out of there. She makes it home and goes to talk to her pops, but he's slumped with the phone in his hand. Next morning, he awakes abruptly and finds a note from Nicole that she's sorry for everything. He goes to talk to her, but she's not ready, and he respects her wishes and leaves, telling her the pain will go away. At lunch, and Gary sits with her. She's visibly upset, and David appears behind her. She screams for help as he grabs her. Gary gets in his face to let her go, and he does. She runs off, and David leaves the lunchroom. Margot shows up to Nicole's and asks to talk. Nicole goes outside where it's daylight again and calls out Margot for what she did with David. Nicole says she's not her friend, and Margot cries she's sorry. He forced her, and she's her only friend before driving away. David and Margot get into car wars until she pulls off the road so David can avoid a head-on collision. She cries as he storms out the car. He smacks her and grabs her, calling her a lying whore. David tells Nicole she better fix it and make it right or he's going to hurt her. He leaves saying she liked it. Damn. That Marky Mark is something else. Brian's next set of scenes. What do you think?
Steve, you fucked up here with this conversation, though, with David, man. Because you should have hit him with the old MDK, the old murder, death, kill. That's Demolition Man, Nico. Because, oh my God, he wouldn't have to fake those bruises had he said half that shit to me that he did to Steve. Oh my gosh. And damn it, Steve, you were doing so good up to here, minus the pedo eyes from Milano earlier. You lost my relatability as a viewer. Now, the soundtrack, I think, really cranks up here. And props to Carter Burwell, the composer. I think he does a really good job throughout of kind of balancing the different moments in the movie. And also, I really like the direction of the script and how it goes right now at this point, because we gear up for the final act and we kind of move away from what Mike was talking about earlier, the little boyfriend versus dad thing, which honestly lost me at the start of this and goes towards that stalker killer portion. And it could not have come at a better time, in my opinion. I thought that was perfect timing. It's like, okay, all that other bullshit's over with. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. Also, some of the best acting I've ever seen from Alyssa Milano. Admittedly, I've not seen much of her shit, but the cheesy show Charmed that I used to have to watch with my girlfriend. But her acting here in this set of scenes was pretty damn good. So props to her.
Look, man, this man, we already, you just mentioned it and I've mentioned it before, but the direction that the movie is taking is significantly more interesting. And me saying that, following up with what I'm about to say, is going to make me sound terrible, like my name belongs in the files. But this man is at a high school and isn't in school. That's a red flag. It's like Pineapple Express, where he has the girlfriend in high school and everyone's just okay with it. No, man, this is super, super weird. And when, I will say I laughed my ass off when I saw Steve pull away from David and leave and Mark Wahlberg thumping his chest like it's fucking Wolf of Wall Street. What the fuck is this? That was a weird fucking scene, I thought. And, just showing the manipulation that, that David is able to pull off. If I'm going to be accused of beating his ass, I might as well just beat his ass. bruise them up, fuck them up. Come on, man. That's what's, man, you messing around with my daughter, you're going to find out. You know what I mean? One of those things. Because, parents know when the significant other is a piece of shit. And so clearly you should maybe just listen a little bit. Anyway, man, I was torn on this scene with Margot because I think it's pretty clear she put herself in a bad situation for sure, but she was forced to what happens here in this scene. She had she was coerced and forced, and it's kind of sad what ends up happening to her. But like I said, a redemption arc in the way that they let her character redeem herself, I thought. I just hate that people can't use words. Like, if you're mad at him, I would embarrass him in front of the whole cafeteria about what happened. He's not in school anyway. No one knows this old ass motherfucker that's here in our cafeteria. I would throw his ass to the streets and let everybody know what kind of guy he is, but doesn't do that. And she also just doesn't speak to Margot, doesn't talk, use her words, nothing. Well, man, what's up with these female friendships? I don't know what's going on. Last thing. Props and flowers to Mark, as much as I've kind of ragged on Wahlberg here for his misgivings in the 90s, what he was doing. By the way, shout out to the Basketball Diaries. That's a great fucking movie with Mark Wahlberg from the night. Oh, you don't like the basketball? Oh, Leo's so great, man. Oh, Leo's it's long, but it's good. It's pause. It's long, but it's good. I said pause. Come on, fair. I know that looks like a real fly, but it also looks like I don't know what it looks like, some kind of paper mache art class project or something. Last thing, he's really good in the movie though. Up to this point, he's a believable creep. He's a believable someone who's losing their mind, losing their marbles right in front of us. I think Wahlberg is outstanding from this point on.
Now, I know what I said I'd do if I was Steven. So I understand where he's coming from. But confronting him out front of the school is a bold move, because that could have gone so incredibly bad. And Nicole would have never forgiven him for the kind of embarrassment that could have caused. There's a time and a place for everything. Then, they go around the corner, though, so I guess the embarrassment's spared, so that's good. But then if he said the things that he said around the corner to me, yeah, at the very least, he's going to the hospital and I'm going to jail. But let's say best case scenario, he beats me up. Then that's even more embarrassing for me. I'm killing everybody, me included. But then if I see him pounding his chest like a maniac in my rearview mirror, I'm going back to my original plan. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot him. Then when Nicole gets home, again, I'm not victim blaming, but her believing David about the bruising on his chest, that's just batshit crazy. You've known your dad your whole life.
Yes.
You just met this guy and he's already shown he's crazy. So you're just going to take his word for it that your dad, who to our knowledge has never been violent with anyone, is going to punch him in the chest. If he was going to, why would he punch him in the chest? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Then she goes to his house and sees what she sees with Margot. I mean, when people show you who they are, you should believe them. You knew that he was capable of doing this. So no sympathy for seeing what you saw there for you. Now, I definitely feel bad for Margot. That was terrible to watch. Margot telling Toby she's going to ravage him when he's old enough. That's an insane thing to say. Anyone else think that was weird? That's a little kid, man. That was crazy. My word. Next level crazy from David when he followed Margot. I mean, he's a real scumbag. I may be a little toxic, but he makes me look like Pope Leo the 14th. That's all I got.
Bruised up chest. What is this, man? Gunther?
Steven opens the door for David, and he puts on the sincere voice trying to apologize to everyone for his mistakes. Steven isn't interested in all that and tells him to get out of here. Steven gets a work call from Eddie as we see David with no bruises on his chest put an ink tattoo on his core that says Nicole forever. Steven drops Nicole off at school, assuring her he's talked to security, and she tells her dad not to worry. She walks right past Margot and hugs Gary. David oversees and is fuming. Steven agrees to work longer as Nicole leaves with the family to go to the mall. David follows Gary into the woods as he reveals his checkered past. David pushes him down and he takes off running. David hawks him down, tosses him like a rag doll, and then snaps his neck. Steven and Eddie go to make their pitch until Steven finds his car destroyed and a note that says, "Now I've popped both your cherries." He gets Eddie's car and leaves as David is stalking Nicole in the mall. He follows her into the bathroom and silences her. He sticks his hand between her legs and says that belongs to him and her. He storms out as someone enters, and Nicole cries out for help. Steven breaks into David's house and wrecks his room after finding he stole his family portrait and put his face over Steven's, the daddy's girl bracelet, and her panties. The crew make it back to their house to see it destroyed, and David says he knows who did it, and they plan their attack. Laura brings Nicole a hot drink and says she's sorry. Steven is ticked that authorities still can't do anything to David. Logan parks the car off in the distance so they can cut through the woods. David tells him Nicole isn't part of the game as a doorbell rings. It's Margot, and she tells him Gary was found dead. Kaiser, the dog, runs outside, and David calls him over. Toby whistles for the dog, and suddenly Kaiser's head is tossed through the dog door. Panic ensues, and the phone's cut out. Laura tries to call for security, but it's not working since the phone lines are down. And Nicole reveals the devastating news that David knows the code to the door lock. Brian's next set of scenes, and the next set is the ending.
Man, Mark Wahlberg's acting, I think, is fantastic here at the start of the set of scenes. Talking to Steve, acting upset, apologizing to his family, and then as soon as Steve basically says fuck off, his face just changes to that just like pure craziness. Great job from Wahlberg. And holy shit, now I've popped both your cherries. This is why you need a gun all the time.
I'm saying
I would be in jail. This motherfucker would be dead. But also, watching Steve go to his house and find all this stuff and also not be able to get in touch with Nicole with pictures and cell phones, like this movie couldn't be made today, I don't think, not without some huge major changes, because that's some serious plot holes with cell phones. Also, I don't think even back then you can cut the alarm like that and it not automatically send to the cops, but I don't know. Regardless of those little nitpicks, though, I think the tension is at a 10 right now, and it's setting up for a crazy-ass ending. Also, fun fact, I have no idea if they used that in the marketing or not, but they should have. But Mark Wahlberg improvised a line where he screamed, "Let me at the fucking house!" And they should have definitely used that in the marketing. That was fantastic.
Did you see that line originally got cut too? Because he ad-libbed it, so they cut it, and then the director watched it back and saw it and put it back in. Thank God he did that, because that's iconic.
Man, look, this man does have balls, okay? Like, balls the size of grapefruits, like Vince McMahon. Walking right up to the house again, trying to talk to Steve, that's relentless effort. That's the kind of effort that Florida State football needs to be great again, is the kind of effort that David's given to this relationship with Nicole. That's all I'm saying. I need a bunch of Davids. I'm not going to name players. That's wrong. They're somewhere else now, so I can't mention their names. The tattoo is insane behavior, though. Holy shit. And again, Wahlberg, great in the scene. Love the way he's delivering this character personally. And you just knew that Gary was about to die. Okay. Like, you just knew Gary was going to be no more. And I feel bad because, man, he didn't get to do a whole lot. Look, if I were Steve, that presentation would have to wait. All right. I'm going to have to get to David and fucking kill this man. How has no one, like, in his however many years of life, just found a way to wipe this man off the face? It's clearly this man is insane. Bathroom stall scene, incredibly uncomfortable. Really hated it. Just unnerving, uncomfortable. Was not a fan. And then, this shrine with the panties in a box. What a weird thing. And really shows the level of depravity that he's gone to. That, they're kind of started revealing it slowly, but now he's full on, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This is why you don't fall for the bad boy, though. I'm not victim blaming. I'm just saying, just be careful. Don't fall for the bad boy. You got to fall for the fat, funny guy, or one of you other three, because I don't know your stereotypes. But honestly, Nico breaks every stereotype I've ever seen, so he can't really fit into that box. So I'm just saying. Last thing. This is the worst fucking kill in the movie, and I say it in my least favorite kill. Not the dog, man. Not the dog. He was such a good boy. Fuck, man. He was a good boy no matter what Nico says.
First of all, I want to touch on something you said there. You got to fall for, and then you implied that they should fall for me. I'm telling everyone, do not fall for me. It's the worst thing a woman could do for her mental health. Somehow David ups himself in the crazy department when he goes to Nicole's house. After all the crazy stuff we've seen, he one-ups himself. How Steven hasn't filed a restraining order at the very least is beyond me. Then he gives himself a hilarious homemade tattoo. The forever part made me laugh out loud. It also reminds me of myself back in 6th grade. My best friend and I, my best friend at the time and I, we gave ourselves homemade tattoos with pocket knives. We didn't use ink, but we were big Tupac fans, and we carved the word thug into our arms with pocket knives. Thank God it didn't scar. It's gone. You can't see it anymore. True story, though. When Steve drops Nicole off at school, I don't know what's more insane. Her telling him that it's over now, as if either of them truly believe that, or the fact that she kissed her dad on the lips. What in the Tom Brady is going on in this movie? That was crazy. And it didn't take long for Steve's security is on high alert to be debunked. David was watching the whole thing. He was there, plain sight, hiding behind a bush. That doesn't work. And Gary took the worst possible route home. Look, man, there is a psychopath in the area who has already beaten you up, and now he only hates you even more. Why would you walk through the woods? Why would you walk through the woods? Not that day. Not until it's actually over. And if I'm Steve, I already wanted to murder David, but now he's really crossed the line. You destroy my classic Mustang and brag about banging my daughter, you would not see another sunset. That's it. Steve going to David's house first was an interesting choice, especially breaking into it. But I'm glad he did, because the Nicole shrine was insane. So creepy and sadistic. But her face being on the Jesus picture, that did make me laugh. Like, that's funny. That's the next level of psychotic. Steve telling the cops that he's not worried about tonight, that's a poor choice of words. You just vandalized his hobo shack. You don't think he might want to pay you a visit now? And Gary being dead is clearly motive to take David in. He beat David to a pulp in public. And now David's dead. Prime suspect. What? These cops suck. Deputy Dewey would never. And then to quote Coming to America, damn shame what they did to that dog. I'm ready for the ending.
David is entering the code, but Steven shuts the door and locks it. David yells, "So let me in the fucking house," as the attacks on the house ensue from different areas. Steven and Laura turn all the lights off as the girls and Toby camp out in her room. They use the fridge to barricade the door as Toby sees a guy outside their window. Nicole uses an umbrella to knock the guy off the ledge and onto the ground below. Laura barricades another door from an Axeman as Nicole uses a light to signal for the security guard. He realizes the phones are out and goes to see what's wrong. Laura uses the power drill and uses it on Folk's hand. I know that hurt like hell. They see Larry approaching and say they got to split. Steven goes outside as Larry holds David and Logan at gunpoint. Steven punches them both, but Terry appears and shoots Larry in the back. Steven gets jumped and tied up. They threaten to kill him or be let inside. They handcuff Laura as Toby sneaks out to use the car phone to call 911. Logan goes to find the girls as Toby cranks the car up. Logan attacks the two girls as David tapes their mouths. Toby backs over Terry and calls 911. David takes Steven upstairs as Toby reveals he's safe and goes to get the handcuff keys to free Laura. David shoots Logan in the head for attacking Nicole. David threatens to kill Steven, but Nicole distracts him. He goes back to her to talk to her as Laura unlocks his cuff. Steven tries to attack David, but he backhands the hell out of him. Nicole stabs him in the back with the umbrella, and the two guys squabble. No one helps poor Dad at all, but he yeets him out the window hilariously to the ground below. Nicole hugs him as the others enter the room. End credits roll as the film ends. Brian, that's the ending. What did you think?
All right, yeah, I brought it up a little bit earlier, but I do wonder how much of this ending here influenced Flanagan when writing Hush. Because, I mean, the house itself reminds me so much of that movie, or so much of that house from Hush, too. And actually, this finale here was shot in Vancouver, while most of the rest of it was in Seattle because they found this perfect house that matched the script to a T. So just a fun little fact there. How hilarious was the girls looking up at the skylight and one of the gang members giving her the Patrick Bateman point and thrust face. Dude, I was dying this go around when I saw that. Now, I could have gone without the Toby little kid saving most of the day stuff, but, you know, things like Wahlberg pointing the gun at Steve and Nicole screaming at him and then him just calmly saying, "What? You want to go with me, don't you?" like it was such memorable acting there, just fantastic. Now it ends on a bad note for me because this toss out of the window kill of Steve, no, of David, I gotta shake my head and deduct points for that because, dude, it looked like a spoof movie. It was so bad. Not only did Steve toss that motherfucker like 40 yards, it looked ridiculous. So, major deduction there. Needed Steve to just shoot him in the head, honestly, or a much better death for our antagonist there. So, overall, decent ending until that point.
Man, I've said it. I'm going to say it one last time. Wahlberg is genuinely creepy here in this final scene, like in this ending. The scene through the eye hole is great. You know, you guys already mentioned it, so let me in the fucking house, which I thought was awesome. Really, really good stuff. And I got to be honest, this family with these psychos like wandering outside, no way they make it that long keeping them out. I'm not buying it. I don't care. 1996 security, 2 older people, 2 younger people. No, not working. They stand no chance, in my opinion. I did like the scene a lot, though. I thought it was tense. You know, it was better than like a normal chase scene would be. Laura finally redeeming herself a little bit by putting the drill through the hand, I thought was fucking great. And honestly, thought we were about to get a really justifying, satisfying ending. And then all hell breaks loose when my man, Psycho Man, shoots a cop. Holy shit. Just, you know, Steve pretty much captured all by himself. Then you get a nice little redemption for Margot, who you kind of forget about Alyssa Milano a little bit, but she goes and totally redeems herself and helps save the day. The brother makes himself useful for the first time in the movie, so I thought that was nice. And it's this scene where Nicole kind of tricks David a little bit here. I want to go with you, and you know, kind of baiting him a little bit. It's good. I thought it was a really good way to show how delusional that David had become and how easily it was to manipulate him, even though he's been the manipulator the whole time. But after that, it really does fall flat. Like, I wanted something more out of that ending, and we just don't get it. I mean, he goes out of the window. He looked like DJ Jazzy Jeff being thrown out the door by Uncle Phil. Like that. Like, that's what it looked like.
I literally have that in my notes.
Yeah, me too.
That's exactly right. Like, I could not think of what it looked like, and that's perfect. That's exactly what it looks like.
What it looks like. I was like, that's it. That's the kill of this fucking guy. Is Jazz being thrown out the door by Uncle Phil? That's wild. I mean, and then the movie just abruptly ends, man. It's just like, all cries and smiles, and it's over. Man, that's it. That's not a satisfying death for this asshole. And so I was really hoping, I said asshole like the kid from Meet the Fockers. Asshole. Anyway. But no, man, really, I was, really good movie, really into it. And then the ending really fell flat. I don't know how else you end it, I guess, but like you said, just shoot him in the head, something, anything. But I can't do it. The Uncle Phil kill is crazy. That's going to be forever known as the Uncle Phil kill on this show. That's exactly how Mark Wahlberg looked.
Speaking of Uncle Phil, before I get started, I'll never forget this. Anytime a celebrity dies, or anytime I think of a celebrity that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they died. I remember back, I guess it was like 2014 or so. My dad texted me out of the blue one day and was like, Uncle Phil died. And I was like, yeah, he's been dead for a few years. And like, he didn't know it. And I was just like, from Fresh Prince, he said, yeah. And I was like, yeah, a while ago. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. James Sandon designs a better purge-proof house than Steve Walker. I know that much. Shout out to Ethan Hawke. So I guess he would have been better in this movie too. Not only did Steve drop the ball in that regard, but he also got way too cocky, way too fast outside, acting like the job was done, and then he got taken hostage. What a rookie. Does he not know who Kobe Bryant is? Job's not finished. Is the job finished? I don't think so. Don't let up. Very tense stuff after David and his cronies get inside the house, but it's broken up by a hilarious scene. when Toby runs the guy over in the driveway. I had to pause the movie to laugh. Because number one, sending a kid to use the car phone is outrageous, because there's a certain level of stealth that you need to do something like that to get. It's a very dangerous situation, and you're expecting the kid to be that stealthy. And even if he was, the car starting will get everyone's attention. And then two, that guy was a moron. You have a gun and you lost the advantage and died at the hands of a middle schooler. You get no sympathy from me. That is hilarious. Steve really looked weak this whole final act. First the stuff earlier outside, and then getting hogtied in his own house. I don't know how to hogtie people. Shout out to R. Kelly. But then he gets freed by Laura and can't even sneak attack David. And then David gives him all he can handle while he's got a hole in his back. The man just got stabbed, and he's still whooping your... It's just not a good showing from Steve. But then we get another scene that made me laugh uncontrollably. The way he threw David out the window. I told you already had it, but I'm going to read my notes as I wrote them. He threw him out the window like Philip Banks was tossing jazz. It was insane. The only thing that would have made that scene even better is if they would have added the Wilhelm scream. That would have set it off. Yes. The look of the dummy was awful. But even if it wasn't, even if the dummy looked like, yes, that looks like the proper weight and size of a human, Mark Wahlberg. You see how far he threw him? We're supposed to believe that he tossed Mark Wahlberg 50 yards? Come on, man.
Impossible.
But the story was a dark one, so I'm just happy and relieved, I guess, that we got the feel-good ending with the right people dying.
Better or worse dummy? Okay, Mark Wahlberg's dummy here in this movie, clearly fucking awful. Or the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street's worse. Nightmare on Elm Street is worse.
That's because it's an inflatable doll, man.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
This one's pretty bad, though. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, but Nightmare is real bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Man, Velociraptor had better effects. Anyway, go ahead.
Velocipastor.
Get it right, first of all, pal.
Yeah, it's your pick,
That's right.
wasn't it?
You're right. God damn it, I picked the movie. Son of a bitch.
All right, guys, jump to our social media comments and questions. I'll do Instagram. Niece_384 commented, Fear gave us a good performance by Mark Wahlberg and great song by Bush with Machine Head in parentheses. All right. I did like that song. And, Mike let us know that he loves Bush as well.
There's also Come Down in this movie from Bush. I don't want to come back down from this cloud.
I thought you meant.
Sorry. Nope. Stop. Stop.
I don't even know if that's the top 5 worst thing he said in this episode, but go ahead. All right.
I didn't even say anything.
We know what you were thinking, pal. All right, and Jesse Kraft commented, just going to be the first to say it, that roller coaster scene with the sweating emoji. And Dana Tucker replied, you beat me to it with the the steamy emoji. I told him they need a cold shower.
I agree.
Jesse Kraft said that scene creeped me the F out, and they were on 2 different wavelengths on the roller coaster scene.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, we would never be like that on this show about women, so don't call me anytime. Thank you.
Nah, hell with that. I'd never be like that in regards to a roller coaster. I love roller coasters. You're not about to distract me with some poontang on a roller coaster. They last like a minute and a half. Let me enjoy this.
I mean, me too, but... Brian, you got Facebook or y'all got Twitter?
Nothing on the Book of Faces.
We got one on X, that is formerly known as Twitter, and it's from Andrew Ferguson. He said, having a daughter myself, this movie is my worst nightmare. That's why I own a gun, go to the gym, and if necessary, play the crazy Army veteran card. Yeah. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Couldn't say it better, except for, I'm not crazy Army veteran, but own a gun.
You guys got
I'll
any
steal
fun
some valor if I need to. I will fucking steal some valor.
Brian going to whip out the old bow and arrow on somebody.
Whoa. Damn.
No, his tribe is more of a hatchet tribe.
Hey, speaking of hatchet, go ahead.
Oh,
A
God.
little foreshadowing right there. Y'all got any fun facts?
Yeah, I've got 2. DiCaprio was tapped to play this originally, but turned it down and actually vouched for Wahlberg to get the role. I thought Wahlberg did fantastic. I think we've all discussed that. And I talked about it not being really able to be remade, but in 2019 they were tossing it around, and in 2022 Peacock looked to turn it into a series, which is ridiculous because you stretch this movie out longer, showing their relationship for a few episodes. I mean, I think that's asinine, but hey, money.
I have something. This is going to be. I actually think it could work better as a series.
Oh God!
And you know how I feel about series, but I think that we could have done with more of seeing David's past. I think that they left it too thinly veiled, too thin. They didn't. I would have rather, when Steve gets the information, like, oh, he bounced around from house to house. Maybe we find out there's a couple other girls in different states that he did this kind of stuff to, and he's got a history. He's dangerous. He's been on the run. That would make it more interesting.
So it's the stepfather, but fear.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't say give us a prequel.
Give us a prequel.
I'm almost.
Give us an entire season of nothing but flashback episodes.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Now you're speaking my language.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Or a 30 years later legacy sequel that involves Marky Mark, and turns out he's fucking what's his name from Ted the whole time. Who knew? A little Ted crossover with Fear. Who would have thought? Anyway,
Johnny.
Or it happens to Reese
Johnny?
again. She finds another dude.
Oh,
no.
God, that's the worst thing you could wish on a woman. That's worse than anything I've ever said.
Hey, don't ruin Sweet Home Alabama for me. Best rom-com of all time. Anyway.
Is that all you had, Brian? All right. Yeah, I had that one about Leo too, and I wrote the GOAT Leo, blah blah blah.
Hell yeah.
But here's the thing: I put that to say that I don't think it would have been as effective. I can't see Leo like that. I think Mark Wahlberg just has that.
Yeah,
he has that crazy look and demeanor that is perfect for it.
I agree.
This movie was filmed in '94, but not released for 2 years till '96. So I'm wondering if there was it was just held up, or I don't know. That's crazy. And it took them 11 months to film it. So you're looking at 3 years, basically. Well, I guess still 2 years. Liv Tyler turned down the role of Nicole. I can see that, man. She was a smoke show. You mentioned something that was cut from the script about the gay best friend, whatever, but also dropped from the original script was some of David's backstory. So this is crazy. His mother was a high school cheerleader who was picked up one night by a frat boy, and the frat boy got her drunk and then raped her and abandoned her. Just months later, she was disowned by her family for getting pregnant. The rapist turns out to be Steve. Thus, in this draft of the story, David is using his own half-sister, Nicole, as an instrument of revenge against their father for destroying the life of David's mom. Is that not?
Oh my God!
That is dark.
Honestly, may have been better. That's not a bad script. It's creepy.
To me, you'd have to cut out all the Lannister stuff. Brother and sister, even though they're half brother sister. No, brother, no.
Come on, it's the '90s.
What?
What?
Hey man, Jerry Springer was popular. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And never mind. Alyssa Milano was in Where the Day Takes You and At Home with the Webbers, both of which also featured David Arquette. And Mark Wahlberg was also in Entourage with David Arquette. So double connection. That's all I got.
First of all, you're forgetting Vince Russo's brother-sister storyline with the not beaver cleavage, but that was mom-son, wasn't it? I don't know, one of those weird things that Vince Russo was booking there. Anyway, movie was made from anywhere between $10 to $20 million. Couldn't find an exact budget there. Grossed just under $21 million at the box office, theater release. So I mean, nice little modest gross there, depending on what the actual budget is, which I couldn't find. So sorry.
What's also funny is this movie was filmed in Vancouver, and so I picture, when Steve's like, I got to go to Vancouver for work. I thought of Al from Al's Toy Barn in Toy Story 2. He's like, I can't believe I got to go all the way to work. And it's literally just across the street.
The Toy Story movie should have ended at 3. Man. Anyway.
I say 2, but I'll allow
3 is
3.
great. Three's great. Great film.
Yeah.
3 was
Sad
great.
film, but great film.
All right, guys, ready to jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill in the rating? Dustin, want to kick us off and jot our scores down?
Let's do it. Favorite kill? It's got to be the numbnuts guy that got ran over by Toby. Hell yeah, kid. Like, I don't know. It's just that's funny. Least favorite kill was the dog. Come on, man. Did not need that. But if we're talking humans, I got to go with David because I just can't get over how far Steve yeeted his ass out the window. As for my final thoughts on the rating, I know I brought up his checkered past multiple times, but as far as his acting, I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. I thought he played the psychotic freak very well. I think there's solid tension throughout and more positives than negatives in the movie. However, there were multiple things that shouldn't have been funny, but they made me laugh. And Nicole's decision-making, it just made me so frustrated. And I'm not saying that as in it's unrealistic, because it's very realistic. It's just, I just wanted to shake some sense into her. They didn't make David manipulative enough for me to buy how easily she took him back before he went full-on stalker. Like, I wish that was more, they spent more time on that, make it seem like more time has passed. Overall, though, it's a fine film. I gave it a 6.5.
Favorite kill? This to me, didn't really think any of the kills were too spectacular, but I chose Logan getting shot in the head just because I wasn't expecting it. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Pause. Least favorite kill, you can go a lot of different directions, you ask me. I didn't like the friend getting killed. I think it was then Gary. Like, I thought that one looked bad. David getting tossed out the window, terrible. The fucking security guard and Steven, idiots. Like, there's another guy around there, and you just let him get shot in the back. Y'all are idiots. Like, they all deserved it, honestly. Just how dumb they were. I enjoyed the movie. Like, I really did have a good time watching it. Like, it was my first time. That's what I was saying, Brian. Like, it didn't need the 90s nostalgia for me. I just thought it was a fine movie. You got two really famous actors and actresses now, Mark and Reese. Alyssa Milano is popular as well, but those two especially, I thought they did a really good job. The qualms I really had were just, like, I didn't really feel the need to have, like, Steven checking out Alyssa, like, in that one scene. Like, that, there was no point in that. And like you guys mentioned as well, the fighting at the end. Like, Steven put up a terrible fight. Like your baby girl's life is on the line, and your family's life is on the line. You're getting your ass whooped, and then you just
By a man with a hole in his back.
Yeah, you got stabbed in the back with an umbrella too. Like, he's hurt, like he's damaged, and he's still kicking your ass. And then they just watched him get his ass kicked too until he threw him out the window and all that. But I gave the movie a 7. I had fun. I would watch it again. Like, I enjoyed it.
All right, I'll go ahead. My favorite kill was the guy getting ran over, like you mentioned, Dustin. My least favorite was a tie between the dog, because we didn't have to kill the fucking dog, man. And then we got to see his head look, awful. And David as well, because, again, the jazz throw by Uncle Phil was just comical. Not a great ending to a really good antagonist for a film. Everything I saw off top, I had never heard of it, but now I'm glad that I've seen it. Thought it was a good thriller. Just, really solid cast. Thought the writing was good. I don't know if it's like super rewatchable, but I could see myself throwing it on again sometime. Hey, shout out to the fans of the show. Shout out to Brian for putting it on here, because it was 90 minutes. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So I gave this movie an 8. That's how much I liked it. Not even being generous. I liked it that much.
Damn.
That's right, son.
All right. I'm right there at the lowest for mine. My own thing here. Favorite kill, though, I picked Larry, the cop, getting shot, but I just thought it looked good. Like, I understand it was stupid, but I thought it looked good. It's kind of out of nowhere, him getting shot through the chest. And my least favorite kill, I had David's Fresh Prince kill as well. Back in the late 90s, I would have given this movie probably an 8 or so. But, nowadays I view the movie from a little bit different lens, which I said earlier, and that I thought was interesting. The ending needed some sprucing up for me, but overall, I think it holds up. And again, it definitely holds some nostalgia for me. Not to spoil it, but I think the IMDb overall score is pretty close, and I'm going to agree with it here, and Dustin apparently, and go with a 6.5.
All right. That gives us a composite score of a 7. IMDb's at a 6.2. Letterboxd 3 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes 47%. They weren't loving it, but we've seen worse. But also, do you guys know how rich Reese Witherspoon is? And do you know how she's so rich? Her net worth is it's almost $500 million. It's like $400 to $440 million. And it's because she buys the rights to all these books. And she has a book club and she promotes the books. But then she turns around and since she owns the rights to these books, she sells the rights to be made into TV shows and movies.
Nice.
What a genius.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Wow.
Dustin, you mentioned it earlier, though. I didn't say anything then, but like the kissing in this movie was kind of uncomfortable to watch.
Dude, it was.
Like in public, dude, like they're just in the middle of the fair and like just hugging each other and like
wide open mouths.
grabbing buttocks and everything. It's like y'all need to go get a room.
If Reese is interested by
That's Steven's baby girl just getting violated in public like that.
You said they need to go get a room. David's old enough for him to get a room. So yeah, do that.
Yeah, no
he's
shit.
almost old enough to rent a car. Good night.
Yeah.
And by the way, Reese,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Reese, if you're interested, Don't Go Out There. The movie is available for sale. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you were mentioning about renting a car. Have y'all ever seen Sunday Conversation when Caleb asked Tom if he would rent
Tom
a car
Brady.
for Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
Oh, yeah. He was so uncomfortable. He didn't know how to answer that either.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so funny. Anywho, any final thoughts? Where I just shouted our blood donors, and Mike can announce the 4 movies he nominated, and we've already announced the winner. He can announce the winner as well. All right, no final thought. All right, sounds good. Blood donors, really appreciate y'all. Like we've mentioned, and we mean it every time. You take a huge burden off of us. Legendary blood donor Dana Tucker. We still got your review to do. We'll do that one soon. Camper level reoccurring Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK. God, I wish he would have commented. Matt from the UK would have had a good comment about this. Oh, damn it, I wish he would have commented. Hey, go comment anyways if you listen. We want to hear it. Anthony Andrews and Moochie, Lisa, thank you. Appreciate you. Camp Council reoccurring Edward Hernandez Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davison, Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Amanda Pettiford, and Death Curse Casey. We mean it from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate y'all's financial help because this show is not free to make, and it does take a big burden off of us to not have to pay the bills. Mike, tell us your 4 picks and the winner of said 4 picks.
Sure. So my 4 picks, I was trying to stick with like a 2006 vibe. I wasn't able to quite get there because we've done a lot of the popular ones that I would have picked, and so I was like, I want to do something somewhat decent. So I went with close, right? I went with close. Went with Silent Hill, The Grudge, the American version, Hatchet, which we've never covered any of the Hatchet movies from that, and there's like 80. We've never. There's really not. I think there's like 5, and then The Omen. Fully expecting you guys to pick The Grudge, maybe Silent Hill. But you 6 sons of bitches, sorry, went and picked Hatchet. Can't fucking believe it. We are covering the origin of Victor Crowley to the excitement of one Brian Hathaway. Let's go.
God.
Steve Schmidt said his whole family after Brian. He said my wife, daughter, we're all voting for Victor Crowley and Hatchet.
And you
They
know
all
what?
love
The
Kane
damn
Hodder.
thing won by 2 votes. Motherfucker. Schmidt, this is your fault. Ban that guy from everything.
I'll be picking Silent
never seen
Hill
it.
later in the year, buddy.
I've never seen Hatchet,
it?
so I'm going to go in with the open mind.
I mean, it's
Does
a
this-
slasher. It's got
Oh, sorry. Does it have Daniel Harris?
I don't know if this one does have Daniel. Does the first
I
one
don't
have
think it
Daniel
does.
Harris?
I'm looking
think-
right now. No.
No,
think
not
it
the
does.
first one.
She's
It's
in the
got
second
Tony
It
Todd,
one.
has
right.
poop. It has poop from a butt, and that's what it is.
It has Tony Todd, Robert Englund,
Robert England's in
yeah.
it too.
England's
Richard
in it, yeah.
Riley,
It's got some decent cast.
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder is.
Kane Hodder. Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be some good kills, even if you don't like them.
Yeah, we got. Have fun with it,
Same
Brian.
director,
Come on.
Same director as Frozen. Oh,
Frozen was good. What the fuck? Look that score up. What did he put? What did he rate it? Look that shit up.
I gave it a 5.
Did you?
You give Frozen a
Yeah.
5?
Hey, me and Brian met Adam Green. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. He's nice. He was cool.
He is.
Brian
I gave
just
it a
called his
5
movie a
and a quarter.
poop from a butt. So
Hey, he keeps it 100. His people have been through enough. They can handle someone saying his movie wasn't good. Oh, we need to get out of here before you say something real crazy. Y'all got any final thoughts?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of
Oh, boy.
22 Jump Street. He's like, give the guy some water. He's black. He's been through a lot. That's what you just reminded me.
Dude, that movie is so damn funny.
It's so good, man.
God.
Dude, that
yes,
scene
they're
where
both
Ice
good.
Cube sees the picture and it's his daughter or whatever, dude, that might be one of the funniest scenes in history to me.
Yeah.
Hell
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week with Hatchet. The horror fans love slashers. Y'all have a good one.
Good night, women. I love you.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody